Hi, welcome back to the Movers with the Max. My name is Markem Gachunga. Today, we'll be looking at a very important topic. We are calling it seven things poor people do that the rich don't. If you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe. Remember to leave a like, comment, and share. Let's get into it. The first thing that poor people do that the rich don't is that poor people think short term. Poor people never think long term. They're always thinking, at the end of the month, at the end of the week, what are we going to do during the weekend? That is not how rich people think. Successful people will always think long term. This is what helps them to overcome every short term challenge. Because in the journey of success, you're going to find obstacles, you're going to find challenges, you're going to find crisis. So successful people, it doesn't mean that they don't find these challenges. It just means that when these challenges come, then their focus is on the long-term glory, the long-term success, the long-term wealth. They never consider the short-term crisis, the short-term obstacles. So this thinking long-term is very important, and it is one of the distinguishing factors that make successful people successful. Number two, poor people complain while successful people don't. Poor people are always complaining. They complain from anything ranging from the government, going to their parents, going to society, everything. They complain about everything. When things are not working, business is not moving, the government. When the economy or whatever, anything is not working, they blame it on other people. They even blame rich people for them not being rich. They blame their parents. They say their parents never left them anything. Poor people are always complaining. Successful people, on the other hand, never complain. Successful people know that success is their own mandate. It is their own responsibility. You will never succeed if you are always putting blame on someone else. Complaining. The more you complain, the more you lose power to change the future. Because in the first place, you think that the problem is not yours. So if the problem is not yours, then no one else, you cannot change it. You're always looking up to the government, your family, your parents, society, the rich, to change the circumstances. So poor people will always complain. Rich people will always see solutions. When they encounter a challenge, they encounter a crisis, what do? They think about a solution. What am I going to do? What can I do to to help this case? What can I do to make sure that other people do not encounter the same challenge as I'm having? Yeah, so successful people never complain, they never blame others, they always find solutions. Number three, poor people will always save rather than invest. This is very important. Rich people and successful people never think about just saving, they are always after investing. Poor people, on the other hand, will always think about saving. That is why all they do is take money to the bank. In fact, this what happens. Poor people will always take money to the bank. Do you know why they take money to the bank? Because their ideas, the ideas that they have are less than the money they have, and the money they have is not much. Rich people, on the other hand, will always have more ideas, than the money they have. That is why when poor people take money to the bank, then the rich people always go to the bank and take the money and use it for investment. So poor people do not have the investment mindset. All they do have is a saving mindset. The best they can do is save. Rich people never save. They save money in property. They save money in businesses. They put money in stocks. They put money in all these investment vehicles. So that is one of the distinguishing factors. Poor people will always save. Rich people and successful people never save. Never. The money we get, the money, rich people, successful people get, they put it in their businesses and in other investment vehicles, because this is the only way you are going to multiply your money. Point number four, poor people will always buy luxury before investing. This is why when a person has a poor mindset, the moment they get a job, the first thing they get, is a car. They are always going, for luxuries, a good watch, a good piece of suit, a good pair of shoe, and all these things. Rich people, on the other hand, never buy luxury before investing. You can never buy luxuries from your salary. You're supposed to buy luxury from your profit, from your capital gain, from your dividends and all that. The money you get, you're supposed to first put it in an investment. Then the returns you get, you can take a portion and buy the luxury, buy whatever you want. If you want that expensive pair of shoe, you can always get it. Let's assume you want an Italian suit, you can always get it. But you never do that before you have invested. The money you get, you're supposed first to put it in an investment, so that what happens is the return you get, so that you never eat the seed. The fact is, when you take money that you have earned, you through sweat, and then you eat it, you buy some luxuries using it, then what you are doing, you are eating the seed. What you're supposed to do is to take that seed, you know, plant it somewhere in an investment vehicle. Then from that point, then the returns you get, the seed, the fruit of the seed, then you can always consume it. But the moment you eat the seed, then you always be very, very poor. So I urge you today, you can never buy luxuries from your salary. You can never buy luxury from the money you get firsthand. That money has to go through an investment first, and then come back to in the form of returns. And now you can do it whatever you want with it. Rich people always have these high-end vehicles, these SUVs, Lamborghinis, whatever all these things are. But they always buy these things from their profit. They always buy these things from the money they have gotten from their investments and all that. Point number five, poor people will always listen to what people say. Successful people never care about what people say. This is very, very important. A poor person will always be discouraged when people talk, negative about them. When people say you can't do this, then they take it into their mind and their hearts. They think they can't. Rich people, on the other hand, will always want to prove, and go against what people are saying. You can not always listen to people, because one thing I always say is that people never have your best interest in their hearts. So the moment you listen to them, when someone says that you can't, then they are not talking from your perspective. They are talking from theirs. That is very, very important to understand. They are talking from their own perspective. They are not talking from you, they are talking from them. So this is why you should never believe them. When they say that you can't, just know you can't. Rich people never listen to what people say, because one thing that happens is that people will always talk. Look at, let's say presidents. They are loved and hated in equal measure. They don't concentrate, on the people who hate them, the people who are always talking negative, the people who are always abusing them, the people who are talking nasty, spoiling their names on social media and in every other, even political gatherings, etc. Rich people will always have a focused mindset. They don't care about what people say. This does not mean that you should never listen to people. No, that is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that if someone's opinion does not fit into your future, then you should not accept it. If someone's criticism is fitting into your future, is making you a better person, then that is something you can take. And rich people, successful people are very good at that. They will always listen to people. They are humble to learn. They always talk to people, gain some insight, gain from their experience and all that. But poor people will always listen to people even if what they are talking does not make their future. Point number six, poor people will always choose entertainment over education. Poor people love to be entertained. Have you ever had people, it's on Monday, and all they are talking about is where are we going to go this weekend? What is the plan? What is the plan? Where are we going to go? The raving, whatever, entertaining ourselves, because that is the mindset of a poor person. A poor person will always want to be entertained at all costs. People will use all their income to get entertainment. Successful people, on the other hand, are different. They never want entertainment before education. That means their priority is education first, not entertainment. So what they do, what rich people do, they always use their income to get education. That means they are going to buy books, they are going to attend seminars, they are going to attend courses, they are going to go back to school, going back to school and all that. Poor people, on the other hand, will use their money to go to dance halls and all these things. I'm not saying that entertainment is wrong. No, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that your priority should not be entertainment. Your priority should be education first. Use your income and your time for education. Read books, learn, get to know things, read biographies, read, magazines in your area. These things are written by people who have so much insight, people who have made it. So, reading books can make you, learn something that someone else has learned in a whole lifetime, in a few days. And that is the whole beauty about reading. So it is very, very important that if you love entertainment of education, then chances are, unless there is luck, that you are never ever going to be successful. Start reading books, start putting in the hours, upgrading your skills, and learning all you can learn in your area of expertise. Here we are to the last point, point number 7. This is very important. Poor people will always like to receive and not give. Poor people will always like to receive and not give. Poor people hate giving. They think, their poor mindset tells them that when I give, there is scarcity of resources. Successful people, on the other hand, know that in this world, there is no scarcity of resources. That means the resources are there, just that they are gotten by people who know how to get them. So it is very, very important to know that if you have a mindset of receiving all the time, you just want to receive, receiving, receiving, you never give, then that is a poor person's mindset. Rich people are givers. They always give. They give to their churches. Rich people always give to the community. Rich people always give to the poor. Rich people always giving money, giving time, giving ideas, giving advice, giving all these things. Poor people, on the other hand, who always like to receive, especially money. They never want to part with anything. Let's say these people are Christians, they can never give tithe, the 10% that is commanded in the Bible. Let's say these people, they are not religious. They never give to their local community. They can never give to the poor. So that way, the more you hold onto things, then the more they don't increase. But the more you release them, then the more your mindset increases. So the moment you give, you always have what we call a rich man's mindset. Your mind will always be tricked that you are rich, even if you are poor. In fact, the moment you give, even if let's say you have just 1,000 shillings, or whatever, then the moment you give it, then what happens is you are tricking your mind into thinking that you are rich already. So the mind is going to start having to think like a rich man or a rich woman. So, but the moment you hold, that means, let's say you find a poor person, maybe you find a person who is going without food, and then you don't give to them, and you have the ability to buy them, a meal or something, then what happens? Your mind tends to believe that a poor man, in fact, yeah, that means you cannot afford things. So what happens? And we know the law of attraction. What you think about is what you receive. So the moment you just start, holding things and not giving them out, then you end up becoming poor. So those are the 7, things that poor people do that the rich don't. Let me tell you something. If you want to change your life, you have to change your lifestyle. It is the lifestyle that you live that determines the results that you get. So it is very, very important. If you are going to be rich or successful, then you cannot afford to have the poor person's mentality, the poor person's actions, the poor person's, way of thinking, mindset, you know, and all that. If you want to change your life, if you want to have what successful people have, then you have to start doing what they do and thinking how they think, because lifestyles will always determine results. So from today, can you determine that you are not going to do the seven things that poor people do, that the rich don't? If you have not subscribed, kindly remember to subscribe. Hit the like button. You can comment, you can share this knowledge. Let us spread this word. And that is one way of giving. So have a nice, day ahead.